Welcome everyone to Around the ACL. Shell Thompson here with Jake Brandon and Anthony Ione. And today our episode is all about standings. We got our new standings after our fourth signature, and we want to talk about what's sticking out there, some fun games, and then we're later going to be joined by Todd Kisicki, and he's going to bring some information about Europe and other fun things. So let's kick it off with Jake. How was your weekend?
My weekend was fantastic. I didn't do a lot, which is why it was so good, right? Friday I didn't do anything, right? Saturday, didn't do anything, hung out with some friends. Nothing too crazy there. Sunday, I played some cornhole, like a big event. There was like 65 people there. I finished third. I fell apart. It was all my fault, but I still finished third, so I can't be too mad about that. And then I came home and relaxed a little bit. So, I mean, really, a quite uneventful weekend for me. So not much to add here. It was good, though. It was nice to relax.
I do get excited, though, when I look on my calendar for the weekend and it just says no event scheduled. I'm like, ooh, yay. Mm-hmm. Anthony, I can't imagine that's ever your calendar.
Yeah, with basketball in the mix. Actually, this is the first time in 6 straight weeks that we haven't had a basketball tournament. So there was no event on the calendar, but there's the stuff that's always on the calendar, which is, the grind. So yeah, we were in the high school gym Saturday morning, getting some work in. Basically, he's in a regiment of so many minutes of handles every day, so many minutes of shots every day. We've got vertical training, and then he trains off with his one-on-one guy too. So there's so many of those per week. He got hurt last weekend, took a fall, fell right on his hip going up high off of a lay. A guy hit him on the top, where your body starts to tumble, and then he hit kind of back left hip first, and that jacked him up for a minute. So we had to move all of our training kind of towards the second to later in the week. So that was basically where we were at. And then a big moment for us last night, we actually had our first meeting with a recruit. So kind of going through what that process is like, where you're going through the whole college recruit process is insane. So, just starting to link with guys that are networked, and what does that process look like? You got to get your social media figured out. You got to get your profile all worked out. You got to get your film lined up, not just highlight film, but full game film. So really just kind of going through all that process of what does it take to be recruited? You have to get to live events. So a lot of this traveling, you got to get to certain events, which they call live events, where coaches are allowed to now engage players. So we're getting those lined up. And then this is going to be a big summer for him. So starting May 15th, all incoming juniors now reach a point where they can engage coaches. They limit how that works. There's just rules in place, NCAA rules, so that you don't have 13-year-olds being approached by adults, so they have some rules in place like that. So this is going to be a big summer for him. He officially becomes of age, and then we see what happens. I don't know. It's all new to me. I'm learning it as we go, but it's we're doing it all at the right time with the right people. So we'll see how it plays out.
That's very exciting. It's how serious he is about basketball. That's just a whole world that you got signed up for.
I'll keep saying it. If only he's like, because we had the head coach there with us last night, the head coach of his high school team, and he's knee deep in all this too. He lives it, but right away the recruiter was like, all right, any questions so far? And we're all, we all know we had the question about how so coach was like, let's just address the elephant in the room. Where are we at with LA on his recruiting efforts, but being a guy that's 5'10", and again, he just turned 16. He could grow 3 inches his junior year. Who knows?
Oh yeah.
But that's going to be a big factor. But he was like, dude, I'm placing 5'10" guys all the time. Is a high level D1 college on the table? Probably not. That's not going to happen. But you could still go on and have a college career and have fun and get a chunk of it paid for at 5'10". So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what's the goal? I think I talked to a musician who's touring and doing all his things, and he said, well, it depends on your level of success. Like if you met a plumber making 80, 100 grand a year, you'd be like, that's not bad. But if an artist makes that, you're like, you suck. So he's like, and I'm happy just to pay for my life and do what I love. I don't need all the big, grand thing. So It's just trying to figure out what's the goal. What is the goal? To have a great college career and have it paid for? Then that's very doable. Is it to be the number one basketball player, NBA player? That could be challenging. So
yes,
that's where you have to play with that. Well, we had Rome's 11th birthday over the weekend since I was in Cleveland for his actual birthday. We had so much fun. About 10, 12 kids here running around. We had the whole rock band we set up, which was fun to watch the kids play the drums and the guitar and sing. And then, of course, they had to do a soccer game because that's what they do. And I had some arts and crafts for them. And it was just a blast. Rome has some great friends. And Anthony, you know this, like you look at your kids and the people they're around, and you kind of just make sure they're on the right track by the kids they attract into their life. And every time Rome brings friends over, they're just sweet kids. So I'm like, okay, we're on a good trajectory so far.
Yeah.
And he's very aware of, like, he doesn't care about being the cool kid. He's like, I'm not going to try that. He's like, I did that in 4th grade, Mom. I don't do that anymore. Like, I don't care about that. It's just a waste of energy. I'm like, yes, you're right.
7th grade is going to be big. That's when they really start to kind of settle into what style they're going to be and what friend groups they're going to be.
Well, we're switching to homeschool from 7th grade on.
Oh, okay.
So that'll change things for sure.
Yeah, that'll change grades.
6th grade's his last year in actual school. So it'll be interesting for sure. But let's talk about our cornhole standings. Instead of just listing all the standings for you guys, I asked Jake and Anthony to come up with kind of what was sticking out to them as they looked over the standings. So Jake, I'm going to start it off with you. We'll just bounce back and forth. So just give me the first one that was standing out to you.
Yeah, I mean, standing out to me, I mean, we got to talk about Colin Hodet, right? Being that number one player in the world. I guess it's not surprising that he's number one because of what he's done, but can we talk about what is outstanding in the fact that he is kind of pretty much come from out of nowhere? If you look at everybody else in these top standings, you know, besides like the Zack Aiken, we talk about the Mark Richards, the Jamie Grahams, the Logan Chamberlains, the Ryan Windsors, the Ethan Walkers. These are pros and players who have been in this division for multiple years, and we have known their name for multiple seasons. I mean, we're talking for a lot of them pre-COVID. And then you get this kid, Colin Hodet. I think he's only in his 2nd or 3rd year as an ACL pro. Made his way onto the stage last year. He won his first ever pro singles bracket last season and didn't win. But now here we are, fast forward to this season, talking about him winning not 1, not 2, but 3 straight pro singles brackets. Not only that, but making it to the overall finals in 3 straight pro singles brackets, and then getting the win 3rd time's the charm for Colin Hodet. He's like the biggest one out of these that are sticking out to me, solely because he's kind of come from out of nowhere, it feels like, and very quickly.
All right, Anthony, give me one that's standing out to you.
Yeah, just to feed off of that a little bit, I agree completely. You talk about a guy that went from 28 last season to number 1. We know how hard it is to get inside the top 10. If he would have come out and cut that in half, if he was sitting at 14 this season, finishing 28 last season, that's a success. But for him to go all the way to number 1, I mean, we're talking breakout. We're talking breakout stuff. So yeah, I agree with Jake there. The next one for me, Ryan Windsor, guys. If we look at the history of Ryan Windsor, I mean, obviously this is an OG. This is a guy that was at the top of the game. If we go back to 19, 20, 21, kind of in that zone right there. What people forget is Ryan Windsor was the number 2 player in the pro division back-to-back seasons. We're talking about a guy that won the, his final chase singles championship in 21. He also had a singles win in 18-19. So he's a 3-time national singles winner. But what happened after that? We saw the decline of Ryan Windsor. In 2020, in 2022, he dropped to 19. Then he dropped to 23. And then he dropped to 48. Guys, last season, Ryan Windsor was the 65th ranked pro singles player. So, and then coming off of essentially a retirement, to come off of retirement to number 7, holy smokes, big surprise for Ryan Windsor. And it's refreshing to see OGs still competing in the new format, the next generation of the game. So Ryan Windsor holding it down for the OGs. Super proud of this guy.
And what number was he? Sorry, Anthony, what number was Ryan Windsor?
He's 7 right now.
7. Okay. I just want to make sure we say the number. So Colin Hodet, number 1, Ryan Windsor sitting at 7. Go ahead, Jake.
I love the Ryan Windsor pick, right? I mean, hit it nail on the head. The only thing is, I mean, he hasn't had a title win in quite a few seasons, but the way he's playing this season, it doesn't feel like it, right? Because he's been in the end multiple times, multiple bracket wins in both pro singles and pro doubles. Ryan Windsor is absolutely a one that's sticking out to me, and for not a good reason, is the man who's sitting in that number 72 spot right now down in the pro singles division. And that's Devin Harbaugh, right? We've been talking about him for quite a while, right? Another one of these players who's in a big title drought, but we can't understand why, because his PPRs are always pretty high, but he has just not gotten the ball rolling in singles or really for doubles in that matter. Him and AJ Sims haven't lived up to the standards that I was holding them to at the start. But I mean, I don't really know what else there is to talk about him with Devin Harbaugh besides how surprised I am. You know, what is he doing wrong? What does he need to do? Because he's not going to have a high seed, which means he's going to be playing, harder opponents throughout the gate, throughout the remainder of the season until he gets a decent finish. So I'm not really sure what there is to do, but I'm shocked that he's that far down. I didn't picture him as a 72 ranked player.
No, nobody would have put him below 50. Below 20. Yeah, I mean, that's
15, yeah.
Yeah. We keep moving it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony.
To me, that's life. That's just life happening. Look at the history: 4 straight seasons, and another OG. I mean, Harbaugh's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's in his 7th year ish. And let's not forget, Devin Harbaugh was 4 straight seasons of top 10 in the pro division. What happened after that run of top 10? Life happened, right? You find someone, you get married, you have a baby, these kind of things happen. So falling from, a 4 straight season with top 10 to 72, to me, guys, that just shows what life can do outside of the game. And that's why the minute this game reaches a point where the players can make this their full-time gig, we're going to see the game of cornhole elevate to the next level. We might have to start changing the game, guys. We might have to start moving it out to 30, 35 feet, or we might have to start regulating materials on bags or something to control the game, because we're just going to have 20 dudes that could go 80 rounds, and it's going to be 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, and then we're going to be on the mic for 12 hours a day, guys. So that's really where the game is trending.
We got to fix that. That's not happening, Anthony.
Just a quick hit on Gage Landis before I move to the next one. Hey, super impressed with this guy. And I think this is why Jake was coming out at the beginning of the season and saying, hey, Landis, Hodet are going to be a top 10 team. Look what Hodet is doing right now in singles. Look at Gage Landis. He's number 11 in singles. So you compare a number 1 and a number 11, and you combine those guys into doubles, obviously that's why they're doing really good. But Landis holding his side in singles, I just wanted to mention that he did cut his rankings in half, going from 23 last season to 11. So anytime you're cutting your rankings in half, very, very a big accomplishment. And the piece that I want to mention on this, because we are in a new season where we're calculating the rankings differently. I thought with Gage Landis having a style of play that would be successful in round limited format, with this season losing the ability to get scoring off a round limited, would actually hurt him a little bit. So, hey, congrats to this guy. He actually moved up in the ranks in 21 only format. So I wanted to mention him. And then just moving really quickly into Grindersleeve at number 13, guys. How about Eddie Grindersleeve this season? Another guy that was obviously at the top of the game. You can call him an OG as well. Anybody that's going back to 19, 20, kind of in the pre-COVID era, he was a top 10 player back-to-back seasons. But then we saw the decline of Eddie Grindersleeve. And the thing about Grindersleeve is he's a guy that's not well-traveled. He's not very visible. So when we get to these signatures, he's coming off of whatever farm or wherever he's at in Texas doing his thing, just killing it. Like, is this guy practicing in a barn somewhere? Like, I don't know what he's doing, but he kind of had the decline. He went 14th, 31, 21 last season. Bam, almost cut that in half. Now he's a top 13 player. So Grindersleeve, another surprise for me.
All right, Jake.
Really, one more quick hit on Gage Landis because Anthony talked about him. Gage Landis sent me a text message this morning because he always sends me text messages when he does things well because he wants me to hype him up on Around the ACL. So I'll give him and I'll do it for him today. Gage Landis had the Pennsylvania State Championships this past weekend and he won singles, only giving up 12 points the entire day. He shut out his last 3 opponents in the semifinal, in the King's Seat game, and in the overall finals. Beat Nate Long twice, beat Trenton Finch, a couple other great players from the state of Pennsylvania. So shout out Gage Landis again. Number, what is he, 11 right now in pro singles, and won't do.
Yes.
And I just want more out of him and Colin in doubles, man. I still think they're a top 10 team. See how much time we got. All right. I'll move over to pro doubles because we don't have that much time left on this one, and I want to talk about pro doubles. Some teams that are surprising me. The fact that Mark and Tony have only won one pro doubles title and are still number 1 in the world right now, right? The fact that Ryan Wiedenfeld and Chris Roybal have won 2 and are 20 points behind Mark and Tony is pretty surprising to me. And the fact that Logan Chamberlain, Gavin, Cano have only made 1 pro doubles Final Four and are still number 4 in the world is surprising to me as well. But I know I'll let Anthony talk more, but the main one that I'm surprised of, and I still love it, Kobe Costanza, Tommy Sliker sitting in that 9 spot, man.
Yeah, for sure.
They've had a couple of good strings in a row. I'm telling you, they're so close to getting it done. And I think maybe my hot take for the preview of the next signature may be that they get a bracket win. I don't know yet, but I still love the Kobe Costanza, Tommy Sliker team.
You really want to combine those 2 names.
Tommy. I
don't think that works.
No, it does not. No.
I don't suggest it. All right, Anthony.
Just a few more words in singles. Maybe we have to leak into the next segment a little bit because I think this is a great segment. Guys, Jacob Harrison, 13. Are you kidding me?
That's what I was going to talk about.
Holy smokes. He's ahead of Derek Holland. Jacob Harrison ahead of Sammy Soto, Gavin Cano, Trey Birchfield, just to name a few. Unbelievable. Sammy Soto at 16, a little bit of a surprise for me. This is his worst season in his 3 years as a pro. Again, could be life. We're seeing changes in Sammy Soto's life. I got a new car. I got a new this, like a girlfriend, like I'm working out. Like, he's got a lot of other focuses other than cornhole. Could be it. Who knows? Gavin Cano at 18. I mean, this was one of my guys that I had moving up to top 3 in the world for multiple seasons. I just saw the potential. For him, I think it's just figuring it out once we get to the Final Four. We saw what happened in Cleveland. Shout out to Madden Franco at 22. I thought that is amazing. JBJ falling to 33 is kind of on this weird path. Like, I'm going to be a top 10 guy, then I'm going to be a 30 guy. Then I'm going to be back to a top 10 guy, then I'm going to be a 30 guy. So that's kind of his rotation in his 4th season as a pro. Alex Rawls at 38. Come on. We're talking about back to back. 3 seasons in a row, he was the 2nd best player in the world. Holy smokes. And then dropping to 38th. For me, he had the hybrid game figured out. He could run it with the best. He could roll it with the best. And then obviously finishing 3 seasons in a row at number 2, he was the best. So for him to fall to 38, started to slowly see this kind of reverse cut position to his bag on his normal slide. Flat started getting lazy on that side of the bag. It just kind of started falling reverse cutty. But he has all the shots. Him at 38's a little bit weird. And then the last one I'll mention is Wasco at 86. Good Lord. Number 5 in the pro division last year. He made it to that overall championship at signature number 4. One of the greatest games we've ever called, Jake, with Jay Rubin. This guy was showing us he was one of the best in the game. He had 5 brackets in the signature runs. 5 out of 6 signatures last season. He was 5th or better. This season, 0. So that's a big difference. And at Worlds, actually. So you can make it 6 if you counted Worlds. He finished 5th or better in his bracket. So we're just not seeing the same thing. All right, kicking off doubles a little bit. To me, you look at it was the theme coming off of Cleveland. Takes 2 sides of the boards, right? So you want to look at both sides. And you could almost look at individuals and rankings. The most surprising thing to me is how many players inside top 10 have either both players are terrible in singles, or you have one that's just way the heck out there, but yet somehow they come together in doubles and they're super successful. So let's talk about the number 1 team in the world. You got Mark Richards and Tony Smith. Makes sense, right? 2 top 10 players on the same team, number 1 in the world, right? But then you go to number 2, Ryan Wiedenfeld and Chris Roybal. If you combined their rankings, they're 84. So you go from a 12 combined to 84. Wiedenfeld at 31, Roybal way out there at 53 in singles, but they come together and they're the second best doubles team in the game. So something is going on chemistry-wise where they're bringing their best stuff in doubles. You could say the same thing about number 3. Tony Forbes and Fabianar are combined at 63. You got Fabianar way out there at 41 in singles. They come together. They're a top 3 doubles team. Then you get to a team like Chamberlain and Cano. It makes sense. Number 5 and number 18 combined, they're 23. They're a top 4 team. That makes sense. Some of them that don't make sense. How about number 5, Nyberg and Powers? Combined, they're 128.
Whoa.
You got Colin Powers, the 78th ranked singles player, and yet he's a top 5 doubles player. So they come together and absolutely kill it. Another one worth mentioning is Windsor and Belvin. And here's the case where you have one guy killing it in singles. Belvin is 110 in singles. But when they come together, something is working in doubles and making them a top 10 doubles team. What are your thoughts on that, Jake?
I have a thought.
Yeah.
Okay. So I teach people all the time that you have to be a good leader to yourself, right? Like in terms of your self-talk and how you handle misses. And like, so you are in your head, you have a leader, hopefully somewhere in you that's leading the game energetically. And a lot of times we're really, really, really bad leaders to ourselves. But I wonder if Windsor energetically is such a good leader that it's trumping her own. That I don't know anything about Karen Belvin's mental game, but let's just assume that her leader in her body isn't the best. But then when she comes in doubles and she gets that strong leader on the other side, it brings out her best game. And that could tell you exactly the type of skills that you need to build in yourself so that you can lead yourself to be the best.
Yeah,
that's a good point. I was just going to say, let's say you put someone else across the boards, like maybe, I don't know, a Zack Aiken or Jacob Trzynski, someone very intense, completely opposite of
worst game. I would throw
that would be your worst game.
So bad because I am actually like building my own leadership skills in myself. So I'm very, give myself a lot of grace. I talk myself up, and I feel like I'm a good leader, but not that they're bad leaders. They're just not the right leader for me. Like that would go so horribly wrong. Just not going to work. All right. Anything, Jake, as we wrap up this segment?
Yeah. One more doubles team I wanted to talk about. And I was surprised because I kept scrolling down and I didn't see them. And I finally got to them. I'm shocked they're this far down. And they're your boys, Meesh. I'm talking about Gio Mora and Adrian Brunson, a team that made a bracket final last event in Cleveland, Ohio. They're all the way down in 37th in pro double standings right now. What does that mean? That means that they finally figured out what they are doing wrong at signature number 4, but they have not done anything in signatures number 1 through 3. What are they doing wrong? What are they doing differently here in this event besides wearing jerseys that don't fit them?
Don't do that. Don't do that. They did wear jerseys that fit them up into the game on the court, though, the live stream court.
But that gives me a little shimmer of hope for Mora and Brunson. They know what it's like to make it to a bracket final now. But the problem with them, again, with their being 37, they're not going to be a high seed, which means they're most likely going to be facing one of those challenger, those qualifier teams out of the gate. One of those top junior teams. If they win that, they have to play like maybe a 4 or 5 seed, which is going to be tough too. But they've done it once. I think they can do it again. I mean, the way they played in Cleveland was really fun to watch. So I'm rooting for Mora and Brunson, but they just got to get out of that hole of being the 37 seed.
One closing comment off of that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just because it's super important to talk about right now. At the next signature, we're going to be talking about dropping worst performances. And that is going to completely shuffle the rankings. You have guys out there that were scratches. So a team that had a 0, they're now going to replace that with some finish. So we might see a major adjustment in the rankings. And teams out there like Harball Sims at 53, maybe even an Ellis Smith, Jaden Ellis and Ryan Smith at 47. The Traders, in my opinion, are better than 32. Eric Davis, Waskow at number 20. You could throw Jamie Graham and Jacob Trzynski in that discussion as well. We already know we're going to see a couple of those teams maybe come out of nowhere. Like, you're saying, scrolling all the way to the bottom to all the way inside top 10 once we start replacing his worst performances, and in some cases a 0 on a scratch.
Yeah, that's also very true. It'll be interesting to look at the rankings after that. All right, let's take a little break from talking about standings and bring on Todd Kisicki to the show. Todd, welcome on.
Hey guys, how's it going?
The man, what's up, Todd?
Oh,
Hey.
Doing really well. Todd, can you just remind everyone kind of your role, and then we'll take it from there?
Oh man, it's changed so much over the years. But yeah, I'm right now officially the chief development officer. I oversee the cornhole operations team. Athena, Michael, a lot of the directors at the Open and signature events, and then I've got a big part in the international development right now. That's
awesome.
kind of been my baby over the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, it's always fun to see you let us know what's going on with ACL Europe, and when the players come, you come introduce them to us, and I just love how you're handling that whole division. So I know you have some stuff to talk about with ACL Europe, so I'll let you kind of take it away, and then we'll ask you questions.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're in the meat of their season right now. They just came off of back-to-back with, I think 3 in a row actually, with Slovakia, Sweden, and Italy this past weekend. Got quite a shakeup there with last year. Roman out of Slovenia was just dominating the tour. This year, a couple of his country mates, Domen and oh my gosh, I just had it pulled up here. Branko are just tearing it up. They won Slovakia and Italy over the last 3 weeks. They're actually the team that beat. They made it to I should say Domen made it to the finals of the ACL Europe last September, taking out several Americans along the way to face off against Sam in the finals, and held his own with her. The Slovenians also came in second to the United Team USA in the WCO Championship last September as well. So Slovenia is pretty amazing how the talent level that they've just shot up over the last year or so.
Awesome. And then you let me know there is a big event coming up in September, and what does it mean for all of us at ACL?
Yeah, the ACL Europe Open is kind of their version of our Worlds. It's the end, their capstone event of the season. It's a big player in who qualifies for pros next season. It is by far the largest event of the season. Each year it's grown. We started in the Netherlands 4 years ago with a very humble 60 to 70 players. Went to Paris, then to Germany, and now Croatia back-to-back years. And last year we were well over 400 players. I think we're going to easily top that this year. The most exciting part of that is just the diversity in countries. We had, I think, close to 25 different countries that were in attendance last year. So it's really amazing just to see each of the cultures that they bring, especially when you go to these events. And the clubs that are organizing these opens, they really put their heart and soul into bringing their own country flair and their club flair and all that stuff into these events, which is pretty cool. So when I was in Italy, they had wood-fired pizzas that they were serving. In Croatia, they've got cevapcici, which is kind of a traditional food that they serve there as well. So it's so exciting to be there. And then part of it is my favorite event of the entire calendar year, and that's the WCO World Cup Championships, where it's our version, or it's their version of kind of our pro teams, where all of the countries, they qualify a team to send to Croatia to compete against the rest of the teams. The Team USA, as Anthony knows, is in the middle of our qualification period right now. We've done we're qualifying a team of 6 players. We've already done our men's doubles team. Sammy and Logan won that. The Hawaiian girls, Alyssa and Michaela, won the women's doubles in Vegas. And then at the end of this month, we've got mixed doubles in Virginia at the interstate event. And
winners, Jake Brennan and to be determined.
Oh, is that? Yeah, I was just looking at the roll call right now. We've got some high level teams there. I heard you guys talking about Colin.
Who's his comp?
Yeah. I heard you talking about Colin just last segment. He's playing with Sam, who Sam, swept last year in Europe. She won both singles and doubles with Miranda. I see Frank and Allison are there. Frank is a fan favorite in Europe, absolutely adored there. Sam's got history. Logan's got history. Miranda, a lot of history with international travels. So yeah, I'm really excited to kind of qualify, see who qualifies from this mixed doubles team. But yeah, all the teams coming out in their country jerseys, and the amount of pride and nationalism that comes with these WCO events it's beyond anything. It's really tough to replicate here in the U.S. We're taking steps forward with like our club championships. In minor league teams and things like that, and obviously our pro teams and being affiliated with those, but the country nationalism and that event right there is just it's amazing. And until this last season, I mean, US was just walking all over the rest of the world, but Slovenia surprised everybody. They took them to game 3 of the 3 game match, and it was exciting. There was definitely some tension in there, and I think the Americans were a little bit nervous about the Slovenians.
Who was in that third game again for the U.S.?
Oh my gosh, you're putting me on the spot here. I'm not sure if it was it might have been Domen and Branco. I'm not sure if that was it or not. But
that was a pressure game. I remember watching it, and I was like, ooh, because what is it? I think it's a 4-year run for the U.S.
Yeah, so, all 4 years, have been taken down by the U.S. But this last year was the first. Actually, the first year in the Netherlands, I think the French took them to game 3. But this last year was definitely a close one.
And Todd, if I remember correctly, we had, was it 19 countries representing?
19, 20, 21, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere in there. That's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot of countries coming in, bringing a team of 6 or something like that. So that's impressive.
We did have, I think, one. Usually what we'll do is if there's these small new countries that are coming in, we'll lump them together in kind of like a misfit team. So Argentina had sent a couple players last year, and we put them together with a couple of the other small countries that didn't make up full teams, just so they could get the experience and be able to take that back. And what's really cool is primarily a lot of our focus over the last couple of years has been Canada and Europe, and then also we've got some ACL events in Australia as well. Later this summer, I'm scheduled to go down to Colombia for their first South America event, where we'll have the leaders from Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Peru down there, and it's going to be an event. But they've got a lot of support from their university there. So they had asked me to come down and do a talk to the university and kind of introduce the game. Mr. International, Sean Farrell, who travels all over the globe. He's planning to go down there as well, do a little bit of teaching too. Very small group, still getting early stages in South America, but it'll be our first in-person contact. And it usually once we have that face-to-face contact with them and with people in other countries, and we're able to work with them, that's when things start to snowball and start to pick up a bit. And I'm really excited to get down there. It'll be my first trip down into South America.
I feel like in my personal travels, I'm always going to places where you're working with someone. Like I was just in Bali, and I think you were working with someone in Bali.
Oh yeah, well,
I just got back. Yeah. I just got back from Colombia, and it sounds like you're going to Colombia.
All right,
what part of Colombia are you going to?
Cali.
Okay. Yeah. So that's going to be a little bit more inland. That's going to be awesome, man. That'll be sweet.
Oh yeah. What'd you think about William? He's an energetic guy.
Yeah. I didn't get to meet him. I just happened to be out there at the time.
Gotcha.
I think you were just starting to talk to him at that time, but yeah, if I could, Meesh, just leading off of what Todd was saying, like he was saying, we have this final qualifier to join the U.S. national team. It's going to be one man, one woman, in a mixed doubles event at the Virginia Interstate, May 30th, I believe. Do you have that date? Yeah, May 30th. Open to anybody. No age restriction. All pros, non-pros, local, whatever. But this is an opportunity to play at the international level, join the international team or the U.S. national team, and that the members that Todd just mentioned already on the team. So we're filling the last 2 spots, Jake Brannon and to be determined.
He's
in there. I'm in there.
He's committed to it. Well, this is really cool, Todd. It's nice because we don't get to interact much with the ACL international side of things. So it's fun to hear updates on what's going on there. And I definitely would like to get to some of those eventually. I mean, I love South America, so I'm all in for that.
That's great.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming on and letting us know what's going on.
All right, you're welcome. Have a good one, everyone.
Bye. All right, kind of jumping back into what's going on with our new rankings. I'm going to list 2 players, and I'm going to ask you, who do you trust more? We're talking about winning, getting over that finish line for a win. First one, Jake, Mark Richards versus Logan Chamberlain.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Who
do you trust more?
Is it weird for me to say Logan Chamberlain right now?
Okay.
I mean, Mark has a higher is higher in single standings, yes. Mark but they both have wins, yes. But I feel like Logan has been more consistent over these past couple of events. Mark won the very first signature of the season in Myrtle Beach, and he has not won since. So we're on a pretty big winless a winning drought for Mark Richards. So I'm almost convincing myself that I would trust Logan Chamberlain in right now more than I would Mark Richards.
Anthony?
Gosh, that's almost impossible for me. I totally see where Jake is going. Who's hot right now? That's definitely Logan Chamberlain. But if we go to Cleveland, they both came up short on what they ultimately were trying to get to. I think was it Mark losing to? I think he lost to like Jacob Harrison or something like that. Just somebody he would beat usually, but look at where Jacob Harrison is sitting. Oh my gosh, who would I trust more? I'm going to go the opposite direction just because Mark Richards is just so proven, years and years and years of being the top dude in the game, but not easy. Gosh, that one's tough. I think they split. You go 10 games or each win in 5.
Zack Aiken versus Gabriel Clausen.
See, this one may be even tougher for me. I think this is truly one of the best rivalries we have this season because you have 1A and 1B when it comes to the top juniors in the world right now, right? Obviously, Gabriel Clausen has a significant amount more of juniors wins than Zack Aiken does this season. But Zack Aiken has a pro singles title. That's something Gabe Clausen can't say that he has. Now, he has made a final, a semifinal. He's won a couple of brackets, has Gabe Clausen. But I think in the long run, I think Zack Aiken has the ability to win when it matters. With that being said, it's so hard for me to go against Gabe Clausen because he's been in that spotlight so many more. How many finals has he been in this season, right? He was in the overall singles final in Wisconsin a couple weekends ago. He won his bracket and was in the semifinal just last event. This is a complete coin flip for me, and I refuse to give an answer.
You're fired.
I can't do it. I can't choose either one of them.
Fired. Get off my show.
Oh, this is hard.
That one was a little bit easier for me. I really like, and I'm just going to go off of what I saw in Cleveland because I think these 2 boys are also splitting hairs. And when they go head to head in juniors, maybe there's an argument that Clausen has the edge, but Zack Aiken has the edge in the pro division. I really like where Gabe Clausen's headspace is at right now. He just seems way more focused. He seems way more controlled. Obviously, he closed the gap on Aiken in Cleveland with his performance. Zach coming up a little bit short, finishing 5th or something like that. I'm going to go Gabe Clausen, man. I feel like mental toughness wise, I think their games are so close. So that edge to me is going to go where Gabe is at up here in the mentals.
Cash Chamness versus Ryan Windsor.
I mean, it's crazy to say I trust a 10-year-old more than however old Ryan Windsor is, but I think I have to, right, when it comes to purely playing standpoint, because you got Cash Hammond is the number 6 player in the world, Ryan Windsor number 7. I mean, it's kind of a toss up there, but no, I think Cash Hammond is so good under pressure because he's so young. He doesn't really understand what that pressure is just yet. Ryan Windsor obviously has made a pro singles final as well, but I think I got to give the edge to Cash Hammond just because he's been in that spotlight so many times and performs so well over these past couple of seasons.
Anthony?
Meesh is not making these easy. She's picking these lineups so dang close. I'm actually going to go the opposite direction. I love what I'm seeing out of Ryan Windsor right now, and I'm going to say, hey, we have an OG who is at the top of the game, with tons of confidence right now, with focus on the game. He's able to get back to where he was in 2019, 2020, as far as competition wise, focus on the game. But it's not easy. But I'm going to give the edge right now to Ryan Windsor. Man, I loved not only his run in Cleveland, but how he handled the final 4 matches, down even at some point, making a run. Man, I just like what I'm seeing out of Ryan Windsor, the OG.
Sammy Soto versus Gavin Cano.
If we're sticking strictly to singles, I think I may have to go Gavin. Again, this is Meesh did such a good job. These are so freaking hard. I mean, Gavin Cano made a bracket final in the last Open in Wisconsin. I don't know off the top of my head his performance on how he did in Kansas City, in Cleveland, I should say, but I know Gavin did not do well in Cleveland. And if you add in doubles, you go back to that pro doubles semifinal with Logan Chamberlain. Anthony, what was that set? I think Gavin gave up 17 or 19 of the 21 points.
Yeah, 18. Yeah,
18 of the 21 points. So, with that being said, I think Sammy Soto is shooting really well right now, so I think I'm going to go Sammy Soto.
Anthony?
All right, question for you to help me answer this one, Meesh. Is this a Soto versus Cano matchup, 3rd round in the bracket out on the floor, or is this a bracket final
closing out? Like, who do you
on
trust?
the main court?
Like, who do you like? In other words, if you had to pick someone that you're like, I'm in a high pressure situation and I got to pick between this person or this person, who are you picking? Who do you trust to show up?
All right, Soto wins his bracket. Cano wins their bracket. They run into each other in a semifinal matchup on the mainstream. I'm going to go with Sammy Soto.
Last one, Matt Guy, Jamie Graham.
This one seems a little bit easy. I like Jamie Graham a lot. Matt Guy has that head-to-head win with that. What was that in Memphis? That game win 51 rounds. But if Jamie Graham stays on that slick side, he's unstoppable. I like Jamie Graham in that one.
Anthony?
Good call. That's going to be the deciding factor for me. Guy Graham recently going head-to-head, like Jake was saying. That match was intense. Guy got the better of that one in a long battle. Jamie goes slick side in that game, and I think it's a different outcome. Jamie could have won that game multiple times. He got stuck on the side of the hole, having to chase it with an airmail drag or a deep 3-foot step out, inside arm collect. I'm going to give Graham the favor on that one if he goes slick side.
All right, last, we're going to wrap it up with climb, fall, stay. I'll give you a pro. You let me know if after the next signature, do you think they're going to climb in the rankings, fall in the rankings, or stay where they're at? Colin Hodet being the first one, Jake.
This is tough because Colin Hodet, obviously number one, to the back is against his wall because he literally cannot improve on where he is. So he's not going to climb, obviously. So you got to think, he's won 3 brackets in a row. Can he make it a 4th? You know how hard it is to do that one time, much less 4 times.
Yeah.
He has a decent sized points lead on Mark Richards and Zack Aiken. So I think I'm going to stay. I think I'm going to say stay.
Okay, Anthony.
Yeah, I see him staying. In my opinion, best player in the building in Cleveland. I don't know if anyone's gone through a whole tournament yet this whole season with an 11 plus for a guy that throws a roll bag as his normal bag. It's unbelievable. So I'm going to say he stays. I think he comes out of Texas we have next, Fort Worth, still the number 1 player.
All right, Zack Aiken at 3.
I think it depends on what kind of mental game we get from Zack Aiken, right? I think all 3 of us saw it in Cleveland, Ohio, when he lost that junior singles final. His mental game just was not there towards the end of that match. And if that kind of mentality continues into Fort Worth, I think he will fall very easily. However, he has worked his way to get to the number 3 spot all season long. So if he can figure out a way to combat that mental struggle and kind of get back to where we know Zack Aiken can be, I can very easily see him winning a bracket and maybe passing Mark Richards, who's number 2, into that 2nd spot. I don't think he can catch Colin unless Colin has a really bad bracket, but but again, just with him being 3, the odds are against him. So I'm gonna say fall for Zack Aiken.
Anthony?
I'm going to say fall as well. It's a skill versus mental at this point. Anyone inside top 10, you're splitting hairs, and the mental game needs to be there as well. He's doing a great job. The fact that he's at 3rd right now with what we saw in Cleveland. I see Jamie Graham making a move with the slick side of this bag. If you look at the points and the rankings, Jamie Graham right behind Zack Aiken. I think that's where the drop comes. He's going to drop, but not far. Zack Aiken may be dropping 1 or 2 spots, with Graham making a move and Cash Chamness making a move. That's where the pressure is going to come for Zack Aiken.
Well, those are the next 2. So you see Jamie Graham and Cash both climbing?
Yes.
All right. Jake?
Yeah, I see Jamie Graham climbing for sure. I mean, he finally won his first bracket of the season last event. I think he should have no problem doing it again. Cash Chamness is a little bit of a wild card for me, right? He didn't win his bracket, obviously, but came so close to beating Jamie Graham. I think Cash will probably rise too.
All right, then go to Ryan Windsor at 7.
Oh, it's back to me. Sorry. Yeah. Back to me. Ryan Windsor at 7. This is where things get tough, man. This Ryan Windsor is so good. He's now won 2 brackets in 4 events. Can he go 3 for 5? Part of me wants to say no just to see things shake up. So I think I may go fall for Windsor, because the last time he won a bracket, he didn't back it up with a good performance at the next signature. He won a bracket in Cleveland. I'm not sure if he can back it up again.
Anthony?
For me, I see a fall. It's going to come. I see a big move coming from Gabe Clausen. He's already inside 10, but I see him jumping to like 6 by the end of the season. I think that's what just kind of squeezes Ryan Windsor down a little bit. Ryan Windsor, I still think, can finish top 10 coming out of the Worlds to finish off the season, which would be unbelievable for him, but I see him falling just a little bit.
Sammy Soto at 16.
I don't hate seeing a rise there, just because 16 is a little bit of a ways back, right?
Yeah.
And it's only because of, people you got up there. You got you got an Andy Grindersleeve up there. You got a Derek Holland ahead of you. You got a Jacob Harrison ahead of you. Am I saying that Sammy Soto is significantly better than either of those 3 guys? Absolutely not. What I'm saying is that I think that Sammy Soto has a higher likelihood of making a couple of good bracket runs, in my opinion. Obviously, Jacob Harrison had a fantastic run in Cleveland. Derek Holland has been pretty good. Eddie Grindersleeve, we saw him on the live stream court make a great run, but I think Sammy Soto is much better than a 16th ranked player. So I'm going rise.
Anthony?
He was a hands down top 10 player for me this season. So It's surprising to see him there. I got to say he's going to rise. The players that Jake just listed, I think that he has the ability to jump those guys. And going from, what is it, 16, did you say? 16, mm-hmm. I still see him maybe a top 10 dude. So I'm going to see a rise for Sammy Soto. He's too skilled. This guy's got too much skill.
We'll do one more. Jace Fleischer at 28.
Oh.
Again, was Wisconsin Jace Fleischer's 15 minutes of fame? I really hope not, but you get a junior doubles win with Jack McKinney this weekend, but you didn't see him do much on the singles or pro double side for that matter. So I think 22, or no, where is he? He's 28. I think it's a pretty decent spot for him. I don't see him rising or falling.
Anthony?
I don't think that was a one-hit wonder. I think he's that good. I see him winning a signature bracket. I think he's that good. Jake will know better. He's got a closer look at this guy, but I see him moving up and something big. Like if he can win a bracket and just win one semifinals match, those bonus points are going to accelerate him. I see an up. I'm going to go with up and significant.
All right. Time for hot takes. Jake, start it off. Oh, you're muted. Wait, you're not muted.
No, I am muted. It's my fault.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to double down on my preseason hot take. For my preseason hot take at the beginning of the year was, we're only going to get 3 unique teams to win a pro double signature because the top heavy talent is so stacked, but we're going to get 6 different pro singles winners this year. And I'm going to double down on that, which means that no new team will win a pro doubles title this year, which means only Mark and Tony, Ryan and Chris, or JBJ and Cash will win the rest of the year.
I love this.
We will get 2 different pro singles winners, which means Mark Richards, Colin Hodet, Logan Chamberlain, and Zack Aiken will not win another pro singles title this year.
Okay. All right.
I love that. I love that. All right, for my hot take, I'm actually going to jump on Jake's train. From the very beginning when he dropped his doubles ranking, I have been giving him shit since. Why the heck do you have Colin Hodet and Gage Landis in your top 10? He had them all the way at like maybe 6, somewhere in that zone.
They were up there.
I'm going to go with that hot take. I think that Gage Landis and Colin Hodet not only finish in the top 10, but they're going to finish well inside top 10. I think they're trending up, which is going to translate to doubles.
Love it.
All right, I'm going a JBJ. You mentioned that he bounces between 10 and 30s. I say that he finishes off the season within the top 15, if not the top 10. I think he can do it. I don't think he's going to have a down year this year like he is on track for at the moment. All right, that's all we have time for. Thank you guys so much for joining us. See you next time.